That was a very quick transition.
We're on?
Yeah, we're on.
Hey, friends.
I should have definitely
You should have.
slowed down the transition time a little bit there.
I think you probably should have.
We came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You're quoting Miley Cyrus. That's a strange way to start. But
Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus, yeah.
That was,
Daughter of Billy Ray Cyrus of Achy Breaky Heart fame.
mm-hmm.
Hannah Montana.
I was quoting the book of Genesis, found in the Bible.
Oh, yeah. A lot of construction devices in the Bible.
Yes, came in like a wrecking ball. You remember?
I do.
Okay.
Should we tell our Twitch friends what we're going to talk about, or should it just be a total mystery until we start the actual podcast segment?
No, tell them.
You want me to tell them?
Okay, don't tell them.
Okay, I won't tell you.
You don't get to know nothing.
Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. You ready to start the old podcast?
So now we're starting the podcast.
Okay, but wait. Those of you who are
Did I say
watching on
pard?
Twitch, go into other rooms of your house and pull in your family. All the books is a family show. Sit down with grandma, grandpa. If you got a great grandma, she'd probably enjoy it. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Great grandma.
No.
My great grandma was very hip. She would have enjoyed this.
Would she have enjoyed your share CD? Look, this is great podcast material,
Would she?
so save it.
Would my great grandma have enjoyed my share CD?
Yeah.
I kind of think that she would have, honestly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Your new one.
Yeah.
With all the 90s. That's what I'm
that one's
talking about.
pretty 90s
All
heavy.
right.
No.
All right. Let's.
Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves share? Absolutely. I think she would have liked that.
Yeah, sure.
I do.
Okay. Let's get to it.
Yeah. Why don't we?
This is episode 155.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome to episode 155 of the All the Books Show, recorded at the David A. Howell Public Library, where we talk book news, author news, and literary news. And I'm Eric Mickles.
And I'm Nick Gunning.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
I'm fine.
Are-
I thought
Are
we were.
you
I thought
really?
we were building up to something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, this is technically my birthday podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It
Usually
sure
we
is.
have Ben here on my birthday podcast.
I know.
So this
I
is
know.
a real sad birthday.
Yeah. Well, it's not every single. Sometimes it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
On
Are
your
you texting
birthday,
him right
that
now?
happens.
What's going on?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
texting
you were on
him
your
right
phone.
now.
I thought you were going to Skype him in.
No.
And he's going like, hi, guys.
That would be
Happy
fun.
birthday,
I mean,
Eric.
we could probably. I mean, not the Twitch people, but
Happy
we could have.
birthday, Mr. President.
That's Ben.
I don't know.
Ben is singing Mr. President.
Yeah.
How old are you going to be?
How old am I going to be?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 32.
32.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
How old are you? Shut up.
I'm 35, but
Yeah.
I carry it well.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you doing?
So I'm not doing anything.
You're doing something on your phone.
I don't think so.
You are calling somebody.
No, I'm not.
Hello.
Oh, is that the Queen of Halloween I have on the line with us?
Hi, it is.
Hi.
Wow.
Sally Murphy.
That's right. Sally Murphy. Is the podcast mic picking Sally up?
Yes.
All right. Sally, thanks so much for joining us remotely. How are things in North Carolina?
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Okay.
Wait.
All-day meeting, so suffering, but fine.
Uh-huh.
Cool. How's Sarah?
She's great.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you're aware, but we're doing the podcast and the Twitch stream live right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
So all your adoring fans are listening.
Right.
I'm not sure if you're aware of the date fast approaching, but my co-host, Eric Mickles, is coming up on a birthday, and I thought you might want to chime in with well wishes.
I do. I've
Yeah.
actually been brainstorming exactly how to say hello
Okay.
to
Yeah.
the king of dinosaurs himself.
Yeah.
King of dinosaurs.
Yeah. That's the
And I
T-Rex. The
decided-
T-Rex is the king of dinosaurs.
All
Sally.
right. Yeah, don't
No.
shut up.
The Duke of Dinosaurs.
Listen.
The Duke of Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
The Archduke of Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I came up with, you're Jurassic Fantastic.
Hey, that's pretty
It's
good.
good. I like
Nice.
it. I like it. So podcast listeners, Sally's always on our Halloween episode.
Yeah. But she
Sally-
moved far away.
She moved far away, but I want to know if you can have a firm commitment right now that you will remotely be on our Halloween episode.
Oh my gosh, of course.
This is an All the
Okay.
Books exclusive. Repeat
Yeah.
for the podcast, Sally. Will you do the Halloween episode?
Nick, I will do the Halloween episode.
Okay,
Okay.
don't make her say it a third time or bad things
Okay.
will happen.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sally, thank you so much for taking the time to wish Eric a happy birthday.
Oh yes, I really do hope it's the happiest of birthdays.
I
Aw.
do too.
Thanks,
I
Sally.
hope you have a fabulous,
Yeah, we're
fabulous
having a good time.
celebratory time.
So feel free to quit your job and move back here, okay? All right, bye. Okay. That was Sally.
Yeah.
Just dropping by to
Yeah.
say happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Now, as much as I love Sally and you love Sally, and we
Uh-huh.
all love Sally,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if she's the most high-profile person that I've forced to say happy birthday to you
No, that would
in
be
a public
that'd
arena.
probably be Wendy Corsi Staub.
Wendy Corsi Staub. That's correct. So as we've been talking about for months and months, Wendy Corsi Staub was here on August
Wendy
2nd.
Corsi Staub.
I like it.
I'm sorry.
She was here promoting her new book, Little Girl Lost. If you haven't read it, pick it up. It's in paperback. It's everywhere. It straddles back and forth between the 60s and the 80s, so a blast from the past.
Right.
Eric's in his mid to late 30s now, so the 80s are his past as well. So we had her here, and we thought, geez, we got to sit her down. We got to talk. So down in the auditorium, we did a little interview, and I can't wait. So we're just gonna launch right into it. Yes, okay. Eric, roll that tape. We got to get you on the microphone.
I love it.
So anyway, for our podcast listeners, Eric and I are here in the Nancy Howe Auditorium with the live audience. Can we hear a little from the audience? There they are. And it's a special occasion because normally it's just me and Eric talking to each other, but now we have a special guest, Wendy Corsi Staub. Wendy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, we have a series of 5 questions that we want to ask you. Just some things. We've both read your work and just have a few questions that we want to go with. Eric, why don't you take it away with question number 1?
Okay. So this was actually my question as well. So with roughly 100 published works, multiple awards, and a strong following, there's no doubt that you're a successful writer, but when did you first notice this was happening, and what was that transition like for you? Were you a starving artist, and when did you realize you weren't a starving artist anymore?
That's a great question, because I don't think I've ever. Very nice, Eric. Thank you. Because I've never, I have given it thought, and there was a moment that stands out in my career. So, it's a series of moments. You think, oh, I sold my first book. Oh, here's my book in the store. I get the first cover. But the moment was February. I think it was 2002. I'm going to guess the year. It stands out, but I'm not great with math, so don't quote me. But I do know that.
We had some equations here for you to do, but we'll cut
great,
those out,
good,
so don't worry.
Yeah, arithmetic.
Yeah.
Hey, book people love math. I had published probably by then maybe 10 or 15 books, and I started out writing young adult novels, and I just thought, well, I have made it. I am going to be, Harry Potter, it was before Harry Potter was a thing, but I was going to be like that. I just thought, oh, I'm successful for life. We're all set. And then that market just died. It just went away. And my publisher said, my editor was great. He was like, try your hand at adult novel. So I did. I wrote adult suspense, which was just grown-up people, and I thought, but then I had to learn how to do that. So the first one came out, did all right. Second one, third one, They were doing okay. I was in hardcover, and they said, we're putting you back into paperback, and I thought I'd been demoted. That was not great news. Because we think that's going to break you out, and I hit the bestseller list out of nowhere. I got a phone call. I was playing with my kids. It was a snow day. I'll never forget. And the phone rang. I ran in to grab it. It was my editor. He's like, are you sitting down? You just made. So I had made the USA Today list. But then I thought the next one for sure would do great. And the next one, no. But the New York Times was always my dream because I worked in a bookstore, and my job on Saturdays was to arrange the New York Times bestsellers in order on the shelf so that everybody could buy them, and they were in order with a big number underneath, and I just wanted that so badly. And out of nowhere I hit, and I rode that list for 6 weeks, I think. But that day, the first day, was amazing. And my parents were coming to visit. It was around Valentine's Day, and they were on their way to visit. And I called them to tell them, and my mom said, I knew that. And she's like, I already knew it. She was always like, I'm psychic, I know. And she had brought me a charm. She had already had it engraved with the bestseller. I still have it, but that moment, I felt like no one can ever take that away from you. And I felt, stupidly, I felt like, oh, my work here is done. I can just sit back, and that was the point I was trying to make before. You do that, and your career just goes, because the readers will know if you're phoning it in, So,
okay. Great, thank you.
The moment.
We've talked a little bit about your roots and coming from the southern tier. My question is how do you think that growing up in an area like this, how does that influence your writing? And it seems like you use parts of the area in a lot of your books, and I wonder what draws you to do that.
I absolutely do. It's always home to me. You know, I had mentioned I have a huge family. I'm related to most people in town. Could not get away with anything back in my hometown. But yeah, there was always the sense of support that I think that they believed in me. They thought I was wacky. I was the oldest cousin on both sides. I was kind of a nut job in a lot of ways, but they believed in me. So I kind of had this sense of I could just go out there and do what I want because they told me I could. No one said I couldn't, and I think that really helped. In Western New York, when I come back, I love coming back here because I always feel like the warmth is just. You're just enveloped. And I think that for a writer who you're putting yourself out there, it's a cruel industry. And especially these days, I mean, people just can attack you wherever they want to on social media, reviews or whatever. I try not to look at any of that I've learned. So to feel like you have your people who have your back and they love me no matter what, I think that warmth and sense of belonging somewhere in a career where you will never have stability like that has been amazing. And the weather, let me say. I've noticed that when I write suspense, I often will reach for the storm is coming, the sky is darkening, because that's how you grew up, right? I mean,
it works year-round here.
Yes, it does. You can do that any time of year. And a sense of isolation, sort of those winter months, it's very evocative. And it also lends itself well to staying inside and reading and writing.
Sure.
So, it's just who I am.
Great.
It's where I come from.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you used the nearby Lilydale as the backdrop for your adult mystery series, but you also use it for your young adult series. How does the writing process differ? You've talked a little bit about it's writing for adult people as well, but how does it differ in terms of just writing for teens, like the style and the...
Well, it's changed because my first book in 1992, I guess. I sold it in 92. It was published in 93. It was for teens. And when I went back to writing for them about 15 years later, I remember the editor liked what I had sent her, but she sent it back and said, more white space, way more white space. It was about the visual. She's like, you can't hold them that long. It's instant gratification, especially for young readers. I don't believe that all kids, like the kids don't have the patience to wade through narrative. They certainly do. My oldest son is an avid reader. But I think that you have to keep in mind that you'll lose them. There's so much competing for their attention.
Right.
So I think you need to keep the pacing. You're more aware when you're building something, a character or a setting, of keeping it forward, like this forward trajectory.
Right.
And I don't dumb it down.
Right.
But I think I've gone through a lot of times and thought, would my reluctant reader be able to still be engaged?
So is that a real mindset change for you when you're like, okay, this is YA, well, I gotta shake it out and sit down and...
Yeah, it was, and I haven't done it in a while until recently, and I think that the booksellers have, and I'm so glad. You have the Scream and Scream Again. You get to say cool things in this industry where, you don't even get free coffee. I'm friends with R.L. Stine. I've known him for years. I call him Bob. He's a good guy. But Bob had asked me to write a young adult, a short story for young readers, really young readers. This is for middle grade readers. And the premise was it either opens with a scream or it ends with a scream. Can you do that? It was we donated them for Mystery Writers of America. Okay. I thought, I could do that. I could try it. And it was hard, I'll tell you. It was hard to write and for those younger readers. First time I've done it in years. So I was very aware every step of the way.
Right.
Like, wait a minute, what is this word that I'm reaching for? This is not the right for this age group. It was a process. It took me probably a huge chunk of time compared to writing a novel for adults was...
Really?
Yeah, time-wise, this was very time-consuming.
Interesting.
To get it right.
All right. Well, let's switch gears and talk a little bit about your current book that you have out now, Little Girl Lost. So I've read it. I like the dueling settings with the 60s and the 80s.
You.
I think that works very well.
Fun.
And I hope that you enjoyed the 80s playlist we were listening to.
I did. I didn't know if that was deliberate.
I
said something to my father.
Yes, it was. And I have to give credit where credit's due because Eric's the king of the mixtape. So,
oh, my God. Oh, the mixtape.
There's a volume 2 if you want it.
It was good. I said something to him, and it reminded me of my college roommate. You said that.
I asked earlier, I was like, do you have an 80s playlist we could use? And he just stared blankly at me like, yes, of course I do.
Of course
yes.
I do. Yes.
So anyway,
the music.
So the question buried in there is, you talked a little bit about your research, but I'm wondering, what What in there that you came across maybe surprised you the most when you were researching those times? Was there a factoid or a little something that happened that you grabbed to put in the book that really stood out to you? It's like, wow.
It was so long ago, I guess, because when you lived it, and you guys are obviously younger than me, and I just felt like it was yesterday. And when I started to think, oh my God, I mean, it was years and years and decades ago in my life, and certain things are so vivid that when I started framing it in history and realizing like people who weren't even born yet, or things that hadn't even happened yet, or sort of just the internet and technology, and when you're looking at that, I had to research.
Yeah.
Sort of these random things would come into play. I knew there were no cell phones really at this time. I mean, and that's a crutch, let me tell you. As a writer, if you have a character coming into a scene and he's alone for a minute, you need to have him take a beat. You can have him get a phone call on his cell, or you can have them look up some information, like if you have a detective, like without technology, it's tough.
Yeah.
And so that for me was shocking.
Yeah. What's funny to think, like in these settings, there are times when they need to like communicate, and it's like, well, you just can't.
You can't.
Because
you just can't.
He's not sitting by a landline somewhere, so that's it.
But the flip side of that coin is you can disappear.
Yes.
In 1987, and you have a very hard time disappearing now. And my author friends and I, we always like, oh, let's not go to the storm again, where you have to have the power knocked out so that nobody can be reached, or the dead cell phone battery, or the lost cell phone.
Yeah.
It's just not believable now that somebody could vanish. But back then, that was a really big revelation. And sort of things I thought were around, I had to look up. I'm like, oh my God, that wasn't even there. Or food, and even the phrase. So there was a phrase I had, African American. Somebody said something about African American, and my young college grad now, but he read it and edited some of it for me, and he's like, nobody said this and sure enough, he was right, in 1987.
But those are little things you might not think
little
about.
Things in the language, that a young person picked up on.
Okay. Well, Eric already mentioned just how prolific you are, and I'm wondering if we can dive into your back catalog for a minute, and for somebody who's never read one of your books, is there something in there, like what would you recommend? Maybe you don't have to say it's your favorite, but maybe a book that you wrote that stuck with you the longest, or one that's of particular importance to you that you might say, hey, give this a shot.
Well, I've written under other names. Okay. So I've written under the pseudonym Wendy Markham, and that's women's fiction. It's a little bit lighter, but there's a book that I wrote called If Only in My Dreams. I wrote it as Wendy Markham, and it was a really hard sell. It's about a woman who goes back in time to December 6th, 1941, and she has breast cancer in present day, and she needs treatment, and she falls in love with the soldier that she knows is doomed to die on D-Day. And it was this book that I just felt like I had to write it. It spoke to me. I was not supposed to be writing it. My agent said it would never sell. And it's a happy, cheerful book. I know it doesn't sound like, but really, it actually has a sequel. That book is my favorite.
Okay.
Because it was the book I wanted to write, and I always liked the 40s, and I liked time travel. So it was very whimsical.
Definitely no cell phones then.
No cell phones, no technology.
Say the title again.
It's called If Only in My Dreams, and it's under the name Wendy
Okay.
Markham. Yeah.
All right.
So but the suspense, if you like suspense, I would say The Good Sister. It was set in Buffalo. At this, and it's so funny. I made up the school. It's an all-girls, Catholic school that is very gothic and creepy. And I did a lot of press up there when the book came out, and everybody that I talked to said, I know which school it is. And I was like, no, you don't. I know which nun that was. I'm like, you don't. But that was for Western New York and for suspense like that, I would recommend.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, let's check those out and see if we have them in our collection. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sitting down and talking with us.
Thank you.
Before we let you go and we get back to the main program, I have to say it's almost Eric's birthday, so I think he needs a birthday shout out.
Happy birthday, Eric! When is it actually?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I didn't think this was gonna
happen. I would sing to you, but I don't do the Marilyn Monroe birthday song very well, so we'll just.
That's fine. I'm happy to sing to you.
Happy birthday! Yes, he will do it.
The sooner this ends, the better.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Eric hates talking about his birthday. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much. It was great to have you here.
You guys are great. Great questions.
Right.
Thank you. Right. Thank you so much, guys.
One,
Yeah.
Nobody could hear us on stream. Hey, everybody on Twitch. 2, I forgot to turn the podcast back on.
Oh.
So now we're just going to have to repeat everything we said, but it's okay because nobody heard any of it.
Ugh.
All right, so the podcast just ended. No, it's okay. We got this energy back. Ready? I'm unpausing the podcast right now. Here we go. There we go.
Oh my gosh, you were so embarrassed.
No, you're embarrassed.
With the birthday stuff?
Yes.
I'm surprised you were so embarrassed.
Yeah, stop.
I thought you, well, oh,
All
sorry.
right.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so Sally, Wendy Corsi Staub. If you had to choose a favorite, who would it be to wish you a happy birthday?
Oh, out of all the people.
One of your longtime friends or a total stranger who was just here over the weekend. You can think about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
thanks,
you think about it.
Thanks. I did have an answer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear it.
What is Sally doing, taking all the attention away from my birthday?
Yeah.
Rock burgers wasn't enough, I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess not.
No, that was pretty fun. Hi, thanks for calling me
Sally and I, when she lived in town, we used to go to Rock Burgers, and it made Eric very angry.
Nah, I was fine. I was fine.
Very mad.
I was fine.
Anyway, big thanks to Wendy Corsi Staub just for coming to begin with.
Yeah.
She signed a lot of books for a lot of people. She signed a lot of stock. Our friends at the Bookworm from East Aurora, the little bookstore up there near Buffalo, came down to sell books, and Wendy signed a lot of those for them to have on their shelves. So if you weren't able to come, you live in the Buffalo area or thereabouts, stop by the Bookworm. You could still get a signed copy because she did quite a few.
Yeah, she was the first mystery writer not to call us a murder library.
That's true. Well, I don't think Elizabeth Elo did, but she was only on the phone.
Yeah,
so
she didn't
know.
It. Joyce Carol Oates was creeped out by our basement in
She
our
was.
weird Santa statue.
Yes.
And Julia Spencer Fleming called it legitimately
She
a
said
murder
a murder
library.
library.
Yeah,
Yes, she did.
So Wendy Corsi Staub said she liked the energy.
Yeah.
And her dad also
she
liked
was
the
all
energy.
about it. That's right. Her dad came. That was so
Yes.
nice. Her dad came down from where, because she's from Western New York. So she's kind of coming home. So he came down, and we got to meet him.
Yep.
He also was very fascinated by the building.
Yeah.
So anyway, Little Girl Lost is the book that's out right now. You can get it anywhere. You can get it from our friends at the Bookworm, but you can get it anywhere. She
Like
also
your local
mentioned-
library?
Like your local library. Yes, that's true. We have a signed copy right here, so capture some of that magic. The books she mentioned specifically that she recommended were The Good Sister, which has a Buffalo setting, and the one she wrote under her pseudonym Wendy Markham, and that one is called If Only in My Dreams, and I think she said that one has a sequel.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah.
Sing it.
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Oh, right. Never mind.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, I think that is actually
that Frank
a Christmas
Sinatra?
album.
Does Sinatra do a version of that?
Sinatra does do a version of that, yep.
I had Sinatra singing it in my head.
Yep. Anyway, so our thanks to Wendy Corsi Staub. Our thanks to everybody
Wendy
who came
Corsi
out to see her
Staub.
live.
Yeah.
Everybody who watched the Facebook Live, which were legions. Thanks to our friends at the Bookworm. Good times were had by all.
Yes.
All right, well let's get into it. Let's
get
get right into the
episode,
bookmark.
yeah.
Before we get into
bookmark.
the bookmark, which is when we talk about the things that we've been reading. I want to know, how is Mission Impossible?
Do you? It's hard to talk about with that. I mean, it's might be the best one.
Really?
Yeah. It might be the best one.
That's exciting. I didn't expect you to say that.
Yeah, no, I thought Mission Impossible Fallout might be the best MI movie. I guess I really like the first Mission Impossible, and the fourth one is pretty good.
Okay.
So I need to see, but this one was very intense. So I've seen some people online calling it like the Dark Knight of the franchise, and I'm not sure I totally understand that.
Yeah, what's that all about?
But it's really good. It's definitely like just a fantastically made action film.
Okay.
So my wife was there. She jumped. I mean, yeah, she was there watching it with me. She jumped and like gasped and like sunk into her seat many times because she could not handle some of the stunts and everything.
Speaking of sinking into seats, I just rewatched Get Out. And it's still
very
good.
nice segue.
It is still very good.
That's fantastic.
Honestly, I wasn't sure, like watching it, knowing everything, but I really appreciated going back and seeing it again because there's a lot of clues.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting.
Hold on.
You like that transition?
That was that. Speaking of sinking in your seats.
Yeah. Oh.
Eric, happy birthday.
Oh my gosh, is that Ben Lehman on the phone right now?
Ben.
Ben, you're live on the podcast and you're live on Twitch.
On the podcast. I'm just calling in to wish Eric a happy
What
birthday.
is happening?
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks,
That's right. He already mentioned quite glumly that he likes it when you're here for his birthday.
Yeah.
Because last time it was a little contentious because, Ben, as you recall, I made you host and I demoted Eric. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
time.
Ben,
Remember?
Yeah, I'm glad I
So,
remembered,
I mean,
yeah.
I think our friendship recovered from that eventually, but it took some time.
It was a long recovery process.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Well, Eric's turning 32.
Why do we keep saying that?
He doesn't look.
God.
I know he doesn't look a day over 35, so he's doing really well. He's doing really well.
Thanks.
Ben, have you seen Mission Impossible, the latest one?
I have not made it out yet. No.
Okay. What about Get Out? Have you seen Get Out?
I did see Get Out.
And thumbs up, thumbs down?
Absolutely thumbs up.
All right.
I really enjoyed it.
I love it. Okay.
I'm trying to get my brother to watch it.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, we
yeah.
just rewatched it last night, so good times. All right. Well, Ben, thanks for calling in. Thanks for wishing Eric a happy birthday.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem.
All right.
Have a great rest of your podcast.
Thank you.
Bye, Ben.
See you later.
Eric Mickles, this is your life.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
fun.
anyway,
Yeah.
I cut you off. You were praising me for my excellent
No, it's too late. We've
transition,
moved
and
on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
we
fine.
should
That's
probably
cool.
talk
That's cool.
about what we're talking about.
Yes, let's do
Bookmark.
it. So we're moving into our bookmark segment. Eric,
Me.
would you like me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. Here are some things that I read.
Okay.
Let me consult my notes just quickly.
Pick your first one.
I finished
Okay.
The Rooster Bar by Mr. John Grisham. So I'd started that last week.
Right.
This was a gift from Eric back when I was about to be full of staples.
It totally was.
And
I got you this.
You know, it's hard to rate. This is a hard one to rate without
would
giving
be, yeah.
giving too much away. But I think that I liked it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I wasn't bored.
3 stars?
3 stars, yeah.
Those are always
and it's
tricky with you.
because, like, the main characters, basically they find out they're going to essentially a diploma mill and they don't really have much of a shot of actually getting jobs as lawyers or passing
Right.
the bar. So they decide to just, like, drop out in their last semester and then, like, just practice law without a license.
Right.
And it's just so I never really felt like there was a compelling enough reason for them to not just finish. You know what I mean? Like just
Right.
finish and then like study for the bar exam.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
obviously that's hard, but if the alternative is still owing all the money and having no credentials, it just to me it seemed like selfish people making reckless decisions.
Oh,
And then like
geez.
you're supposed to root for them or
Sure.
something and I just never did.
You
So-
should watch Game of Thrones sometime.
Oh.
If you don't want to see unlikable characters making unlikable decisions.
So I guess that's
So.
why I was on the fence about it, because I do think that the story was good. Like it was interesting, but it just, I don't know. I think that there were some leaps that were made and some like motivations of characters that were never quite good enough to really sell the story.
Right.
And I think just some light tweaking really could have made it work.
Okay.
So no, I don't think I could really like recommend this considering all the good Grisham that's out there.
All right.
Okay.
So not recommended.
No,
even
I
though
don't think so.
But this one was on the sellers list for a long time, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's Grisham sort of back to form. Camino Island was different, and the last couple of ones have been at least atypical. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm saying, it wasn't terrible. It certainly wasn't terrible.
All right.
I also read Nightwing, Volume 2, back in Bloodhaven.
Back in Blue.
So this is the rebirth.
Back in Blue would be pretty good
This is
title.
the rebirth Nightwing title.
All right. Never mind.
And as you know, I'm a huge Nightwing fan.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the new 52 run.
No, you didn't.
Things have not been good for my pal Dick Grayson for a while.
Yeah.
And this was actually pretty solid.
Hey, no, he's got that cool new Teen Titans show coming out on the DC unit.
I don't want to talk about
He
that.
says some things. He
show.
has some choice words for Batman.
Yeah.
All right.
I grabbed the wrong note. What's the last thing that I read?
What? The last thing that you
Yeah,
read?
what is it?
Oh, you're moving on from Nightwing. You
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was good. It
The
was good.
Death of Mrs. Westaway?
No, that's what I'm
Westaway?
currently reading. No, it's the Star Trek one.
Trek?
That's right. Planet of Judgment by Hugo and Nebula winning author.
Yeah.
What's it? Joe Haldeman? I don't have it in front of me.
Joe Haldeman.
Joe Haldeman. Yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
I'm sorry.
You're a
Well,
mess.
I grabbed the wrong notes, so I don't
okay.
have it. Anyway, first of all, this one has a crazy cover. So if you can just drop what you're doing and run to the nearest.
Yeah, I don't understand why you think it's just. Isn't it just Kirk
Yeah.
pointing his phaser at the camera?
But like Kirk, like the face of Kirk is so like richly detailed.
Yeah.
And it looks nothing like William Shatner.
That's true. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't look like William Shatner.
It doesn't even look like William Shatner's stunt double.
Oh,
It doesn't.
Okay.
It's just, it's weird because it's such a close-up picture of Kirk, and it's not
Right.
just like a whoosh kind of quick drawing. It's like I'm going to sit down and painstakingly like sculpt this face that is not
It
William
does kind of look
Shatner.
like somebody's like uncle.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Uncle Dave, can you come
Hey,
over?
You're going to say hi to your Uncle Dave?
Yes.
That sort of
Can
thing.
I paint you, Uncle Dave?
Ha ha, boy, you're getting big. Hey, pull my finger.
All right, here I go.
So-
A little yellow.
All right, now this one is another one that I find. So this was written after Forever War. So this is once Haldeman is a Nebula and Hugo Award winning author. He goes and writes.
You can put that on the cover.
Yeah.
They do?
Planet of Judgment.
Yeah.
And here's what I think about this.
Is it just a planet of a bunch of people being like, oh, hey, you'll wear anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you look great in that.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it? Salvation Army?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, you make your kids' food separate from what you're eating?
Yeah, you'll just,
Ooh, okay.
Planet of Judgment.
Anyway,
her kids are so free-spirited.
This is my problem with it. Okay, I think that it was actually like it was well written. You know what I mean? Like the dialogue was good, the settings were good.
Dialogue was well.
Nope. No. But I think it was a much more ambitious kind of sci-fi than Star Trek usually allows.
Oh,
and so I feel like he had this really like fine-tuned, like well put together concept,
right?
And then just tried to kind of like cram it into Star Trek, and it just doesn't work.
That sometimes happens in Star Wars books as well.
Yeah,
like they'll bring in like, look at this very scientifically researched thing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, Star Wars is a bunch of space wizards, so stop. Just tell us that it's a time machine, and we'll believe you.
They meet this race of
beings. It's a force time machine.
Who keep like messing with their perception of things, having them relive moments from their lives, working towards this like ultimate goal, which is a little confusing.
Ben Lehman keeps calling them.
Yeah, but
happy birthday, Kirk.
But it just doesn't, like, it just never clicks because like he's still trying to write Star Trek, so it's like he keeps backing off, but keeps giving you the foundation for this novel that should have been like 3 times as long with original characters, not in the confines of like Star Trek. So it made me want to read more of his stuff. Okay, but it didn't really. So
you like it as a sci-fi book and not as a Star Trek book, or you think the Star Trekness keeps it from being a good sci-fi book?
I think both. I think it's like the depth of sci-fi makes it so it's a bad Star Trek novel, and I think the Star Trek aspect of it deadens the high level concept. Right. And they just never gel. So I would not recommend this.
All right.
But I don't know this author like you do. So.
I've only read one book.
Okay. And so now I guess what I'm currently reading is Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls. That's by Mr. David Sedaris, who has a new book coming out soon, Calypso. It's out. It's already out.
Checking, processing. Thank
you, Mr. Data. Calypso, coming out. It's already out. I think it came out in May of this year.
That's a Cher song, right?
Nope. You're thinking of Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves.
Oh, okay.
I love David Sedaris. I discovered him when I was working at my first library job in Michigan. Shout out to Willard Library.
As a Santa?
I was not as a Santa, no. And I was trying to find something, and I was particularly looking for audiobooks, because I like to do audiobooks back then when I was doing the big, like, giant book return. And somebody was like, oh, you got to try David Sedaris. So I think I started with Me Talk Pretty one day, and then just burned through them all. Barrel Fever, Naked, Dress Your Family in Corduroy and Denim, all of them. Okay. And I love them. I love them all. And the way he reads them, it really sells them. I mean, it's really... I don't think I've ever just read a David Sedaris short story. Right. I think it would be good. Like, I think it would work, but I think a lot of it is the personality that he puts into it. So if you were audio inclined at all, and actually, Let's Talk Diabetes with Owls is on overdrive, so you don't even need the CDs.
Hey, all right.
Give it a shot on your next car trip.
Okay.
And I would... It's probably a PG-13 kind of a rating.
I've only done the one.
Holidays on Ice?
Yeah.
I wouldn't rank that particularly high, although Santaland Diaries is great. That's very funny. But I would say that the cream of the crop would probably be Dress Your Family in Corduroy Denim and Me Talk Pretty one day. Okay. Honestly, if I had to choose a favorite, I'd say Corduroy and Denim. Okay. Anytime he's doing like the stories about his family growing up, that's where it is.
That's the gold.
That's the best stuff. So I'm reading that, and then I also started The Death of Mrs. Westaway by
Ruth Ware.
Ruth Ware.
Would we say friend of the show or like frenemy of the show?
I would say frenemy at this point, because I don't think she's taken our calls after the 6 to 8 months of David Sedaris reference, if anyone caught it. The 6 to 8 months of ribbing that we gave to
Women in Cabin
10.
We teased it so much. Now I can't even get the energy to do the bit anymore.
Yeah.
So
I know. I understand.
Death of Mrs. Westaway, though.
It's very good. So I also read The Lion Game by Ruth Ware.
You're a new Ruth Ware fan.
Apparently. I would still... I mean, I haven't finished Westaway, but I would put Women in Cabin 10 as the lowest of what I've read so far.
I would hope so.
Yes. The plot of this one is... it
gets worse?
Is it like a 21-year-old like fortune teller who works on a dock? Gets a letter in the mail saying your grandma died and you've inherited all this money.
Right.
And her grandma died like 20 years ago, and this is not her family.
No, I'm just... This this was my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Go on.
Wow. So basically, she has to decide whether she's going to just be like, yeah, totally, I'm her, give me the money.
Yeah.
Or just walk away. And she's got a lot of stuff going on in her life where
Right.
this inheritance would really set some things right.
Right. Listen, I don't have a lot of stuff going wrong in my life right
yeah,
now.
you don't.
But I could use that inheritance.
Could you?
How much was it?
Oh, they never say. Well, not yet anyway.
Oh.
So I'm about 80 pages in, and I've been very impressed. My wife read it, and she was a big fan too.
All right.
She hasn't read Women in Cabin 10.
Right.
So I think if you read Women in Cabin 10, you are likely put off of Ruth Ware.
Yeah.
But I would say, I can't speak for this one yet, but I would say it's worth picking up another one.
How much, in your head, what did you see the inheritance as? Like when you were reading it? Because I thought you said $20 million.
I think the implication is that it's high because there's a giant like family estate. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I would at the very least, I think
Oh,
you're
man,
talking
you have
like
the air conditioner on.
tens of thousands. So, yeah, I could turn it off if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
Right, I doubt anybody can hear it, but I will.
We'll see.
I'll turn it down just for you.
I'm going to sneeze.
Eric's going to
keep
sneeze.
talking.
I'll leave it on.
Hold on, keep going.
So again, we definitely have this in our collection.
No, it's okay. Got it.
You
Go.
can read it along with me and tell me what you think. And if you've already read it, you can always let us know. Twitter at All the Book Show,
Right.
Facebook at David A. Howe Public Library, or send us an email at wellsville@stls.org. Eric's home address is as follows.
No.
Oh,
No.
what? We're not doing that?
No, not unless I get a $20 million inheritance.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
all you have to do is be like, oh, yeah, I'm Westaway.
I
You know,
am.
And then you get it.
I'm,
So that's
yeah.
it. That's it for me. That is the end of my bookmark.
Okay.
Eric Nichols, take it away.
What did I finish? I didn't read much more than comics this week.
Okay.
So I read 5 Ronin by, is it Peter Milligan? I can't remember his
don't know.
full name. I think it's Peter Milligan. Man, this should have been better. It's Marvel characters, Wolverine, the Punisher,
Okay.
Hulk, Deadpool, and Psylocke,
Okay.
except they're in feudal Japan.
Ooh.
And
That's
it's,
fun. You know what? That is the plot for Turtles in Time.
it's a very cool concept.
Turtles number 3.
Yeah. This comic was a cool concept, just absolutely wasted.
That's
A
sad.
waste of a concept.
It's very sad.
None of the characters feel like they're normal characters.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to the stories that, like, there's nothing Wolverine about the Wolverine story. There's nothing Hulk about the Hulk story. And so, I don't know. It's just kind of like, you should have just written an original thing. Apparently, you wanted to.
Yeah.
And I thought it would have been cool to have done it. Like, the
Yeah.
Punisher in feudal Japan, I thought that was going to be cool. It weren't. I finished 2 different X-Force titles.
Wow.
Uncanny X-Force and Cable in the X-Force. Uncanny X-Force was this is by someone Humphreys.
Okay.
Not the Uncanny X-Force from the that I read by Remender. Those were
Okay.
good. This real bad. I think this is technically volume 2.
Oh, you're on a roll.
Anyway, not good. What else?
Sam Humphreys.
Thank you. I read the new Avengers and also the Avengers. This is the 2010 Avengers lineup that Brian Michael Bendis wrote after the Dark Reign
Why
saga.
do you do it?
Because
I'm going to talk to the listeners just for a minute. Eric hates Brian Michael Bendis, and he keeps going back
Not
to the
all the
well.
time.
And I need your help to stop him from doing this. Continue.
because they're the Avengers
Yeah.
comics. So if I want to be up to date with what's happening in the Marvel
Avengers,
universe
sure.
proper,
Yeah.
in the big things, I have to read them. The problem is, it's just Bendis, and he's just like, look how witty my dialogue still is. I'm so fresh. It's just like, you want to. Also, both of these series, Avengers and the New Avengers, there's no plot in the opening. It's an issue of them forming the team and meeting at the mansion, and then the villain shows up.
Oh, wow.
And both of them do this, and it's just like, that's nothing. That's just, that's worse. In Dungeons and Dragons, there's the cliche that you will have everybody meeting in a tavern.
Okay.
And that's where the adventure comes
That's
to
the
them,
thing.
or the adventure's right there. This
Okay.
is what that's like, and it's just no good. So anyway,
So are you going to stick with the series?
yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna complain about the whole time. This will be the
All right.
last time I talk about those until
Oh.
I finish them.
Till the capstone.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm reading Forever Peace.
Okay.
Forever Peace is cool. There's a twist coming up, I think, about how they can end the war that they're in.
Okay.
But right now, it's not that. This is by Joe Haldeman. It's a spiritual sequel to Forever War. It's
Okay.
not a sequel. It's not set in the same universe as Forever War.
Okay.
But one of the main concepts in this is that people kind of like Pacific Rim, but they get in more miniature, personalized, like mech armor to fight, and they end up mentally jacking into each other's like brains.
Okay.
And so if one dies, the others feel it, and if one gets hit, the others feel it.
I'm sorry, just point of order. You're describing the Borg.
Kind of.
From Star Trek, the Borg.
Well, sometimes we have to become what we hate the most. To kill the most things we hate.
What we hate. Sure, yeah. Elegant.
So I'm waiting for that other twist, because it seems like, it's funny because it seems like the whole like sharing the mindscape in battle could be enough for like one book.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, this is here and then we're going to get to something else.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What about the short story you read?
Oh, that's right. I read a short story by guess who?
Who?
Wendy Corsi Staub.
We know her.
Yeah.
She wished you a happy birthday.
She hugged me.
She did.
She hugged you.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
very friendly lady.
Yes. She wrote what was Father's Eyes? My Father's Eyes.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a short story in this.
Yeah.
Is it technically by Lee Child's the editor?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a series
it's called First Thrills, Volume 2.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's people writing little short thriller stories.
Mm-hmm.
Heather Graham writes several.
Yeah.
Stephen Kuntz, Lee Child, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Yeah, you gave it to me. You're like, here, read this. And I'm reading it. I'm like, this is... Why did he
It's a
give
little
this to
dark.
me?
It's a little
there's
dark.
some dark stuff in there. And then the twist, as it is...
Yeah, don't tell it.
The concept of it shows its head. I'm like, oh, okay, that was fun.
Yeah, I thought so too. I didn't see it coming, and I was reading it. Was like, oh, God, I don't want to read something like this.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the end, I was like, okay. All right. Check. Good job, Wendy Corsi Staub.
Check one, too.
I liked it.
So that's what I've been read.
You know what?
What?
While we had Ben on the line, we should have got him to commit on mic to making us some new sounds, because what we need now is a little like drum beat guitar riff thing to signify that we're ending our book. We're ending
segue music.
We're ending our bookmarks and moving on to book news. But before we do that, I need to ask you a question about a little book called Teen Titans Volume 1, Damien Knows Best.
What are you going to ask me about it?
Well, this showed up as a hold for me because, as you know, we're connected to 48 other libraries, and we can request any other books and get them in at any time, even if they're not available here.
Sure.
I didn't put this on hold because I don't know if you know this, but I hate the character of Damien. So him being in charge of the Teen Titans, a group that I like, it's not something that I would enjoy.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Do you like the character of Robin?
Yeah, I do. I love Robin.
Do you like the Teen Titans?
Yeah.
You answered your own question.
But I don't.
I can't help it, man. This is what DC's putting up for you. I wanted to get you the Titans book that has like Barry Allen.
I would have read that.
Or Wally West.
Wally West, yeah.
And other cool characters. Maybe Cyborg?
Yeah.
They didn't have it. No one had it.
This one does have Wally West. It's Wally West 2, like a different modeled on the...
Look at that. That looks so fun.
I know.
Look at all those characters that Damien knows better than.
I guess I should appreciate your devotion to me.
I'm just trying to help you, man. I'm trying to help you keep up to date.
Going on. All right, so end of bookmark, and let's begin book news.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I have got some advance notices to share with my friends.
You think you're so cool because you have these advance notices.
A little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sure.
I'm going to start in large print, folks. This is Gathering of Secrets by Linda Castillo. This is coming to us in September, available in large print. When a historic barn burns to the ground in the middle of the night, Chief of Police Kate Burkholder is called to investigate.
Kate Burkholder?
Burkholder. At first, it looks like an accident, but when the body of an 18-year-old Daniel Gingrich is found inside, burned alive, Kate suspects murder. Who would want a well-liked, hard-working young Amish man dead? As Kate wades through a sea of suspects, she's confronted by her own violent past and an unthinkable possibility.
Yeah.
This is book number 10 in the Kate Burkholder series, which I have not read. I think hers tend to be a little on the dark side.
Oh, yeah.
A little dark.
Burkholder sounds like a Pokemon.
Yeah, it sounds funny.
Burkholder.
Let's move on to standard print.
Whatever. You don't know anything about Pokemon.
Okay, you're right. This is book number. We're going to do a J.D. Robb.
Oh.
This is Leverage in Death. How many do you think
in deaths
preceded this?
I think we do this every time there's a J.D. Robb death book.
I would like you to guess.
42.
This is 47.
Wow.
So preceded by 46.
Still, yeah.
And remember, these are like, I think, vaguely romantic, futuristic cop stories by Nora Roberts' dark alter ego. This her Jack of Spades,
right,
if you will.
Right. Would you watch a TV show about a cop whose partner is a werewolf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we've covered this.
All right.
But I would.
Yeah. All right.
Lieutenant Eve Dallas puzzles over a bizarre suicide bombing
Quick
in a
side
Wall
note.
Street office building.
Did Teen Wolf ever become a cop?
I never watched the animated series.
Okay, yeah.
So
That
possibly
seems like-
there.
That seems like the thing they would do
Possibly
next.
there. You know what? I'll ask Jason Bateman. We'll see what he said.
Okay.
Anyway, Lieutenant Eve Dallas puzzles over a bizarre suicide bombing in a Wall Street office building in the latest in the #1 New York Times best-selling series. I have been meaning to put this on the book club since we've been doing book clubs.
do it already.
In 2014, and I keep just kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wait, I need something else for that slot until this one gets kicked.
You're your own worst enemy, man.
I know. 2019 could be
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
Are you an R.A. Salvatore fan?
I've read one of his books.
And that was?
That was the Icewind Dale book, the
Okay.
first one. I'll look it up.
Did you like it?
Yes, it was very Dungeons
and he
and
wrote
Dragons-y.
what? He wrote he wrote the novelization to what? Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
which my wife loved.
Oh yeah.
So I
That
think
sounds right.
I think she's a bigger R.A. Salvatore fan than I am.
Probably.
Hold on.
Shout out to Kendra. Anyway, so this is new from R.A. Salvatore. This is the first in the Drizzt trilogy.
The what?
Now D-R-I-Z-Z-T.
No, what number?
Book number 1.
No. It's book number 1 in this new.
That's what I said. The Drizzt trilogy.
Right, but Drizzt is a character who's been
Okay.
around since 1990 or before.
Okay.
So this is like a new Drizzt
A
trilogy
new-
in the great
I feel like we're saying the
story.
same thing, but
no,
yes. Okay.
I'm just saying the Icewind Dale trilogy, I think,
Yeah.
was his first one.
Drizzt.
Yes.
It's an exhausting name. Speaking of
No,
exhausting,
it's Drizzt du Urden.
that's worse. You know how I've been kind of reading Stone Barrington for the last couple of years?
Crystal Shard, that was the first
Stuart
one.
Woods.
Yeah.
I have like a rotation, and when I don't know what to read, I kind of look at that, and I'm like, oh, I haven't read a Stuart Woods in a while.
Uh-huh.
I picked up one of the Ed Eagle books, and they're just so smutty.
Yeah.
They're just so like silly and smutty, and they just
You love 'em.
They're not fun anymore.
Oh.
So I have struck Stuart Woods
Ooh.
from the list.
Yikes.
So you have to make some hard decisions every once in a while.
You take the good.
And you know who knows
you take
that?
the bad.
Your Facts of Life reference is suddenly very relevant
And sad.
because they're talking. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes. What is her name? What is her name in real life?
Mrs. Garrett?
Mrs. Garrett. Yep. I was Charlotte Ray, I think is her name. Mrs. Garrett just passed away.
Yeah.
So sad.
Sorry.
She
and
was-
they're talking about a reboot.
And they're
So I don't
talking
know
about a
what they're
reboot.
talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
crazy.
She was great on ER as well. Long after the Facts of Lives years, she's great on ER. But yes, they're talking about rebooting the Facts of Lives
Yeah.
because I guess Molly Ringwald, call your agent. I don't know. Back to Drizzt.
Yes. So Drizzt has been around forever. It's like R.A. Salvatore's like character.
Okay.
But it's set in the Dungeons and Dragons world.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's set in the Forgotten Realms,
Well,
which
I
is a reality, which is a universe in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
So
I should have let
couldn't
you have this one.
I couldn't tell you what number. He's had
I
so
see.
many trilogies.
All right. Well,
So-
without further ado, at long last, New York Times bestselling author R.A. Salvatore returns with one of fantasy's most beloved and enduring icons. Would you say that's true?
He's very
I
popular.
have never heard of this man.
Well, I think he's very popular in the realm of D&D.
Gotcha.
I don't think he's popular.
Gotcha.
I could say Gandalf to anyone and
Do
a
you
wizard.
think my roleplay character of
Neptor.
would get along well with the Drizzt?
Yeah, you're both wandering souls.
Okay.
Yeah, both
And
kind of.
where do we land on me getting those experience points? Because even
Oh
though we
my
switch,
gosh.
it's not going to happen.
All
Okay,
right, hold
I don't
on.
know.
Ugh.
That's fine.
Hold on. Let's
Anyway.
see if the listeners can tell the disdain in my
Okay.
voice just by this. Ugh.
The dark elf Drizzt do Urden.
Yes,
In
dark
an
elf
all-new
being a
trilogy
drow.
full of swordplay, danger, and imaginative thrills. Would you
Yeah.
like some more?
Sure. Yeah.
Centuries ago, in the city of Menzoberranzan,
Nice.
the city of spiders,
Uh-huh.
the city
Ooh.
of Drow,
Yeah.
nestled deep in the unmerciful Underdark of
Yeah, the
Toril.
Underdark is bad
A
news.
young weapon master earned a reputation far above his station or that
Uh-huh.
of his poor house. The greatest nobles watched him, and one matron in particular decided to take him as her own. She connived with rival great houses to secure her prize.
Yeah.
But that prize was caught for her by another, who came to quite enjoy the weapon master. This was the beginning of the friendship between Zacnifine and Jariaxel, and the compiling of Matron Malice. Well, if her name is Matron Malice, steer clear.
That was probably a name she took later on.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
think
pretty
that was
biblical.
a birth name.
You know, like everyone in the Bible,
Yeah.
their name is
Yeah.
like what's going to happen to
Yeah.
them
Biblical
later.
or Disney-esque.
True.
Like Maleficent.
Yeah, come on, Maleficent.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Okay.
Be nice, Maleficent.
Okay.
Maleficent.
I'm being nice.
So stupid. So stupid. Anyway, the beginning of this friendship.
Maleficent, the character from the Book of Genesis.
Oh, and the weapon master who would sire Drizzt Do'Urden. So is this is like a...
Oh, wow, this must be a
A
prequel.
Drizzt prequel.
Listen, I've only read the first book of the
Would you
Icewind Dale
say
trilogy.
that this would be a good hopping on point for fans of Drizzt? People wanting to get into Drizzt.
No idea.
You wouldn't say that this is a good Drizzt beginning.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, aren't prequels
Drizzt
always the worst place to
begins.
start?
Drizzt year 1.
I mean, I know you used to love starting with prequels.
How often are you going to beat me up for that?
No, I'm just saying
said that I'm
you've
sorry.
you've long moved from that position, but
I
it
know.
used to be like, Nick, stop reading that. That's not the first book.
Yeah.
You're like, it's chronologically. So
I know.
I
know.
Yeah, I feel bad, but because I haven't read, I haven't really read any D&D books. It's just that one.
Yeah. What a poser.
Hey man,
Sorry.
it's just the Crystal Shard, and I
All
liked
right,
it.
The 3 that I mentioned will be coming out in September, and those are
Ooh.
all ones guaranteed to be here at the David A. Howe Public Library.
Yeah,
And you can access them from anywhere in the Southern Tier Library System.
cool.
Or at your
Cool.
local library.
Yeah,
All right.
all right.
That's it for me. That's my advance notices, but I want to know what's hip, what's happening now, what's today.
What's on the New York Times bestsellers list?
Oh, that'd be
is
good.
What you're asking?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Number 10 on the New York Times bestsellers list for hardcover fiction
Yeah.
is All We Ever Wanted by Emily Giffin. A scandal sends members of 2 Nashville families into chaos. Ooh, you want to know what was bumped off the list since last time?
I would.
When Life Gives You Lululemons is at number 11.
Oh, no.
Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate is at 12.
Oh.
And The Good Fight by Danielle Steele is
Really
at 13.
rubbing it in.
Yeah. All right. So, number 9 then. Are you familiar with Emily Giffin? Have you read something by her?
I haven't, but, well, no, I'm thinking of
Okay.
Sophie Kinsella. I always confuse them.
What about Ann Tyler? Are you familiar with Ann Tyler?
Yeah, I just read Clock Dance.
Good, because at number 9 is Clock Dance. Come on and do the clock dance. It's the clock dance. Come and do the clock dance. Bring your dad to. A window into Willa Drake's life of 50 years and how she adjusts to some of life's surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on fire, but I'll adjust.
She thinks on her feet.
Yeah, sure. It's just the cover of a cactus,
Yeah.
so I don't know what that cover is telling us about this character.
Yeah. I don't either.
Okay.
There was mention of a cactus a few times, and I was thinking, like, that's got to be a metaphor. Or that's got to be, like, symbolic for something, but
Right.
that's when our listeners can tell us.
Okay. So what's up next? Oh,
You tell me.
I'm looking. I accidentally closed it. Brad Thor, Spy Master.
Ugh.
No, Spy Master.
Stink Master.
Listen to this summary. Oh, we did this joke last time, but it's a good one.
Okay.
Listen to this sick summary from the New York Times
ready.
bestsellers list about Spy Master.
I'm super interested.
The 18th book in the Scott Havarth series.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I read a Scott Harvath.
Yeah. Brad Thor, mightiest of the Brads.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, number 7 is The Perfect Couple. This is by Ellen Hildebrand.
Ellen Hildebrand.
Yeah,
Read
hey.
a couple Ellen Hildebrands.
A body is found in the Nantucket Harbor long before.
And a woman in cabin 10
hours before
looks
a Picture
out
Perfect wedding. Right,
and
we've been
sees
here.
the murder. Oh.
This is a book you wanted to read.
Oh, okay.
Not The Perfect Couple. Well,
Oh.
maybe you do. I don't know you.
Nah.
Debbie McCumber, Cottage by the Sea.
I know. I was weirdly drawn. I've been under a lot of stress lately.
Yeah.
And that was a very soothing cover.
You were
image,
drawn by
so-
the vacation
Yeah.
presented on the cover of.
nice crisp blue sky.
Yeah.
A lawn I don't have to mow.
Yeah. Annie Marlowe.
Hi everyone. I'm 75.
Jeez. Annie Marlowe forms new relationships in the Pacific Northwest as she tries to recover from tragedy.
That sounds fun.
So she's trying to recover from tragedy.
Yeah.
You just don't want to mow your lawn right now.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Really?
It's so hot.
It is very hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like always raining right now.
Let it grow.
So it's just like, yeah. It's
Let it
rough.
grow.
But you know what? I mowed my lawn
Yeah.
and my neighbor didn't. And I was like, you get outside and mow your lawn right now.
Were you? See, I'm always that guy. I have a retiree and
Uh-huh.
somebody who loves mowing their lawn on the
Yeah.
other side of me. So it's like by the time I do it, which is
Yeah.
probably once a week,
Yeah.
not much more than that, they've done it at least twice.
Yeah.
And so theirs just looked like pristine,
Yeah.
like it's just been shaved with a Bic razor on the front lawn. And
Yeah.
by contrast, mine looks like the jungle from Jumanji.
Yeah. I'm glad you said, because I was also going to say Jumanji.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Wow. What
Yeah.
year is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who are you in that one?
I guess just Robin Williams when he comes back with the turtle shell hat. And
Right. Okay. Cool. So that was number 6.
obvious answer.
Number 5 is new this
Ooh.
week.
Color me excited.
What color is that? Would you say yellow? Orange? Red?
Well, orange, both of those, red is definitely mad.
Oh, okay.
Excited, I guess, would be like...
Pink?
No, probably like a blues and greens and yellows.
Okay.
Kind of mixed together.
All right, color, Nick, all those colors together. Number 5, Ghosted by Rosie Walsh. When Eddie disappears, Sarah realizes they did not share the truth with each other.
He just got ghosted.
Yeah,
She got ghosted. She got ghosted.
She got ghosted. He's doing the ghosting.
Have you ever ghosted someone?
That's when you just leave, right?
Yeah, when you just like stop responding and
Yeah.
you have done
All
that?
the time.
Really?
Yeah.
You've ghosted people.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's my
I don't
thing.
think it's generally looked upon in a positive light.
It is with the ghost.
Well, I guess.
Listen, if the ghoster cared if it was generally well thought of,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be ghosting.
They wouldn't even
Yeah.
bother being ghosted.
Yeah.
You're
But
right.
because they're ghosting, they don't care about what the general consensus is on
Yeah.
ghosting is. So
Yep.
Ghosted.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Did you ever finish Ghosted? Did you ever watch?
No, I never even watched
We watched
it.
a little bit, and then they like kind of put it on hiatus while they
Yeah.
redid it, and we never got back to
Fox. It was a Fox show.
Yeah.
Craig
Yeah.
Robinson,
Yeah.
Adam Scott.
it. Yeah.
I wanted to. It looked fun.
Number 4, Stephen King, The Outsider.
Mm-hmm.
So
Still popular.
still popular.
Still got holds on it. People still want
number
it.
3, he's The Outsider. Yeah.
He's got a new one coming out soon too.
Don't talk. We can't.
Well,
we
sorry.
can't
Okay.
commit. Number 3. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know.
No, go.
No,
Go ahead.
it's on everybody's like hotly anticipated list. I feel like The Outsider
But he
people
just did one.
I know, but I don't think people are really like digging it, and nobody
All
likes
right.
Sleeping Beauties. So it's been a while since he had
Okay.
a good one.
Well, maybe his next
people
one will be that one.
Maybe.
But book number 3 is The Other Woman by Daniel Silva.
Daniel
Remember when I
Silva?
kept calling him Danielle Silva?
Yes. I think we all remember. It
I
was a
s-
harrowing time.
I still fight that inside of me.
Isn't Daniel a much more common name than Danielle? Like, don't you have...
Yeah, I'm not calling him a Daniela.
That's not even... I mean, I'm sure somebody has that name, but that's not a common
Daniela.
name. Daniela.
Yeah,
No.
that's not a name.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything can be
Wouldn't
a
I be
name.
like, hi, this is Daniela?
If
That's not a regular
if that
name.
was her name.
Daniela.
I don't think it's a common name. It's not like a weird... It's not like you're saying, here's my friend Plutarch, which at one point was a common name, but
Uh-huh.
it's so far removed.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
That's news to me.
hey, you know what?
What?
Lock that away in case there's a little baby Mickles someday. Daniela.
Plutarch. Daniela
No,
Plutarch.
we settled on Torpy. We settled on Torpy.
Torpy.
Torpy Mickles.
All right. Let's... Number 2.
This one's for you, Torpy. The Torpster, I call him.
Number 2. Like when Spielberg and George Lucas got together to do Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
Bill Clinton and James Patterson. I said James President.
James President.
That's pretty good. Listen,
Yeah.
if the character's name in this book was called James President, I wouldn't
yeah.
be surprised.
Yeah.
President is Missing by
That's
James
true.
Patterson
Yeah.
and Bill Clinton.
Sexy J President returns to the White House.
That's pretty good. Yeah, they would call him J President.
Probably.
Hey, so Bill Clinton, Danielle.
No, Sexy was the first name.
Oh,
and J was
J's
the middle initial.
Sexy J.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you got Stephen King, Daniel Silva,
Yeah.
and Bill Clinton and James Patterson below first place. Who do you think? Who do you think is taking the first place?
I mean, Danielle Steele.
What if I told you it was Timothy Zahn, and it was his new Star Wars
What?
Thrawn
Are you kidding me?
Alliances is at number 1.
Yowzer.
New this week.
Wow.
Yep. Thrawn Alliances, a Star Wars saga. Darth Vader and Grand Admiral Thrawn joined forces to serve Emperor Palpatine.
That surprises me.
Uh-huh.
And is also
Palpatine.
a good time to mention.
Did I say Palpatine?
Yeah, you did.
I meant Palpatine.
Yeah.
Listen, I meant Palpatine.
We know you
I
did.
meant it.
Well, we don't have to get into it now because next week we've got a whole Timothy Zahn spotlight. An old buddy of mine
We sure
from
do.
my college days is joining us to talk about Timothy Zahn, so we won't get into it now.
Okay.
I'm a little
We won't
surprised.
get
I'm a
into it,
little
right.
surprised that it's hitting number 1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good
well,
for him, though. I mean,
yeah.
congratulations, Timothy Zahn.
His last one did
Yeah.
well. His
Yeah.
last one at least showed up on number 2.
Yeah,
I think
it
we
was,
were very
it
shocked
was there.
then.
It was it wasn't long.
Now he's
well,
got
that's what
new
I mean.
people, yeah.
So we recorded this one a while back, the interview about Timothy Zahn.
Uh-huh.
That's what we were kind of saying, like he's back because
He's back,
there's just
baby.
been so much,
Well, the cover
so
has
much hype around these Thrawn books.
the cover has Thrawn,
Well,
who
that makes
people
sense.
love.
Yeah.
And then it has Darth Vader, who people know.
People also know.
So that's
Yeah.
Vader. That's the thing Vader often says. People
Yeah.
know me.
Yeah.
He's always like, people know me. He says it in a much deeper voice.
No, I think that was just right. Well, the original, like the David Prowse voice, would be like, "People know me. I am David Prowse."
Yes. Yeah.
Go Google Darth Vader's original voice because it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
everything with apologies to David Prowse.
Yeah,
of course, but it is funny when you expect
I,
James
the Dark Lord.
Here I come, Luke Skywalker.
Oh, jeez. You're a traitor.
If anything, we're underplaying it as well. So please, please Google that.
And then they didn't get him to come back and re-record for Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
where he's
right.
like, no, Padme, no, I have the high ground.
So stupid. This is so stupid. I can't remember if we cover this next week, so I'm just going to ask you right now. Are you planning to read the Throne books?
The new ones?
Yes.
Eventually.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've read the other ones.
I don't know why I was so proud of you for that. I was like, really, big guy? Oh, happy birthday.
Okay. Thanks. Sounds like,
Oh, Timothy Zahn's on the line. He's not. I'm sorry. That was mean. I shouldn't even have joked.
Oh, for his happy birthday? I don't know what he sounds like.
Yeah.
David Prowse, is he on the line?
Happy birthday, Eric. Eric, it is my pleasure to wish you a happy birthday.
Wow. Jeez.
I could maybe arrange that. I could call David Prowse. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The force is... Anyway, I guess this is what we're doing now.
This is going to be our whole ride home, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
So
yes. Do you think he also did the lightsaber sound effects when
probably
he was...
Pew, pew.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I don't know.
A sparkle!
All right, so that caps our New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah, of course it does.
I mean, now it's time for library news, but the summer reading program is donezo. So now it's
it has to be after you just pronounced program.
Did I?
You were like the summer. Yeah, we'd have to go back on the tape.
Okay.
But you were like the summer reading program.
Maybe I was still in David Prowse
Yes.
mode. It's like program. Anyway,
don't blame that on Prowse.
The summer
He
reading
doesn't need
program has concluded.
Yeah,
we had really good attendance this year. I thought this place has been hopping.
Hop.
We've got a little bit of the book sale left, and right now it's like $3 for all you can carry, and I mean all you can carry. If you want to bring a pickup truck, $3.
Do I?
Okay. If you want to bring a large Ryder truck and fill it with books, $3.
Okay. Obviously, that David Prowse thing has messed with our brains right now. Yeah.
I guess it has.
All right.
Here's a serious one though.
Okay.
On Saturday the 11th, we're having a job fair. So I've been working with the other directors in Allegheny County, other library directors, and we put together this job fair. We've invited several businesses to come. We have about 10 or 11 businesses who are actively looking to hire. I'm going to be here at the library from 9 to noon on Saturday the 11th. We have somebody here helping with resumes. You can print your resume here, sit down face-to-face with employers. So whether you need a job or somebody you know, please spread the word because we're really excited about this program and hope to have great success with it. So I hope you can join us for that.
Woo.
The book clubs are currently reading Blue Heaven by C.J. Box. That one's coming first. And then, just in time for the next one to come out, we're reading Cuckoo's Calling, the first of the Cormoran Strike books by Robert Galbraith, a.k.a. J.K. Rowling. I've only read this first one. I was going to read the second one, but I've heard it's very, yucky. So I just never have.
Yucky.
Well, it's just, violent and disturbing. So I just never went back to it. But you can join us anytime, and it's not a recurring, you can just do one book club. People are always like, I don't want to commit to 100 book clubs. Yeah. You don't have to.
Oh.
You could just do one.
You could come to the book club and then ghost it.
Yeah, you can ghost it. I'll keep texting and being like, hey, you coming back to book club? Nothing. Why aren't they responding?
Yeah. Not even your profile picture isn't even showing up.
No,
to show that's been read.
Yep.
Just the check mark.
Yeah, that's all. Exactly.
So
that's the big stuff for me.
Yeah.
Tuesdays on the Terrace is just winding down. We've got on August 7th and August 14th, we have our last meals. We want to thank the Music on the Lawn Committee for the great batch of concerts they had this year. All people just donating their time, volunteering, working on that. Our thanks to all the local businesses, businesses near and far, really, who helped sponsor the program. So really thanks again to the Music on the Lawn Committee for putting that all together. It's a great community event, and we're proud to be the lawn of Music on the Lawn. So thanks, everybody. Yeah. Anything you want to mention teen-wise or youth-wise? Bubble Man, you want to talk about?
Bubble Man is showing up the 9th.
That's right.
Is that correct? Do you remember the time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on August 9th, the Bubble Man
Doug
is coming.
Ruja. Doug's been here before. He does a great show. So
it's a Bubble show.
It's Bubble-tastic.
Yeah, Bubble. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, that's going on. And then planning stuff for when school starts back up in just a couple weeks.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, 3 weeks?
I'd take your word for it.
Sorry, all the kids that listen to all the books.
Yeah, kids.
But it's about to be
Sorry,
all the
kids.
school.
You're going to have to find your work somewhere else.
Whoa.
Kids.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
I'm just imagining you telling all the kids to find their work somewhere else.
Yes. Well, our thanks to our special guest, Sally Murphy.
Yes.
Our special guest, Ben Lehman.
Yeah.
Our very extra special guest, Wendy Corsi Staub.
Yes, the most special guest of them all.
And a special birthday boy.
Me.
For showing up here on the podcast as he does a week after week.
I didn't even get upset that we had all these special guests.
And I didn't even list you.
And you didn't even list me as a special guest.
You're turning 32, you know? It's a time in every young man's life where he says, you know what? I'm not going to sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to mow my lawn every 2 weeks.
Hey, this is what I always have to readjust when I have a birthday.
Yeah.
It's what now is the halfway point of my life.
Ooh.
So what's half of 32?
16?
16.
Yeah.
So I've lived. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
So when I think now at 16, I can now think like, oh man, I've lived twice that life.
Yeah.
So
thinking a 17-and-a-half-year-old me.
That's why turning 28 was such a big deal. Because my life, it feels like it didn't really start in a lot of ways until I was 14.
That's how a YA novel starts. So
really?
Write that down.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yep. 14, that was the start for you?
Well, a lot of different stuff changed. So anyways, and then when I was 28, I was like, oh my gosh.
So each year are you predicting your own death? By saying that that's half of your life?
No, I'm just saying like.
Thus far.
Yeah. I think like what was half my life
realistically, what do you think half your life's going to be?
30.
You think you're going to die when you're 60?
If I'm lucky.
Oh, man, I'm going to get you some vegetables. Freaking me out.
So, considering Tom Cruise is turning 59, or he's turning 60.
Turning 60.
Yeah. If I live to be 60.
Yeah.
So.
You got to make a lot of Mission Impossible movies to catch up with Tom Cruise.
That's true. But he's been doing it since the 90s.
That's true.
I could probably if I do one every 2 years, starting now, I'll be done.
You catch up.
Yeah. I could be done by the time I'm 50.
You have to have that special brand of craziness that Tom Cruise has to make it work, though.
All right.
Can I be your Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So special brand of craziness, like I scream through a one-way mirror all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm screaming at my reflection. Yeah. You guys can see me.
But you need to start it with like an Oprah couch moment. It doesn't have to be Oprah because she doesn't have a show anymore.
Right.
But it has to be
Steve Harvey?
You don't have to. It doesn't have to be on a show. It just has to be that kind of a moment.
So I just take a picture of me on a couch. Jumping on the couch, yelling at my new cat.
I think that you're missing a point.
Oh, I could be yelling to my wife that I love our new cat.
Yeah.
On my couch. I could be like, I love her.
Exactly.
I love her.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, again, happy birthday to Eric. Thanks to our new friend, Wendy Corsi Staub. Please check out her book, Little Girl Lost.
Yeah.
Available wherever you get your books and here at the David A. Howe Public Library.
Yep.
Thanks to our other guests. And thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.
And also bye Twitch, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry you couldn't hear that whole interview.
Yeah. They could hear the interview.
You could?
Yeah.
Oh, then it just got mute afterwards?
I muted our mics.
Ah.
But during the interview.
Can you edit that for YouTube? Or it's just going to be a weird...
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know.
So that's what happened.
Is there any comments that we should be responding to?
Happy birthday, Eric, from Miss Music Box.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah.
So...
You don't know.
I don't know who she is.
No, you don't.
Yeah. All right.
So...
okay, that's it.
All right.
I got to go edit this so we can get home sometime.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Bye.
Hey, I might get an old cat. That's all. I found an old cat that I really like. We might
get an old cat.
We might get it.
Bye.
Bye.